Listen, it's been a rough stretch, and yeah, we recognize that, especially after how we played for at such a high level for so long. So yeah, I know Booney, a part of his preseason speech and spring training addresses, the group is saying, hey, adversity is going to come at some point. It's going to come, and we're going to have to deal with it, and how you deal with it is just as important as dealing with it. And so we're trying to deal with it in every way, shape we possibly can. Our processes are the same that served us well for when we were flying high, and so it's kind of like that. You walk that fine line of what do you change, if at all, versus staying the course and not panicking. This is a good group. A good group of players that care. They're really talented. So it's going to certainly acknowledge that this has been a tough stretch, and we've certainly taken it seriously. And but the group's got my belief. I believe strongly in them. I think they're still capable of everything we ever hoped and dreamed. And but we have to weather the storm first and foremost. Yesterday was a nice win, but we need to string together obviously a lot as we move forward here and earn our playoff spot and then take our shot. So, but yeah, it's not easy, whether it's the players or the manager on a daily basis while you're going through that adversity to try to speak to it, address it, or kind of fill in the blanks when questions are coming, and sometimes the answers don't appear as easily as you'd like. Because sometimes there's not an explanation when you're going through it.
How difficult was it to, during Paul O'Neill's retirement, like of his number, then, hearing Hal being booed, and even the boos at the mentioning of your name, in this tough second stretch?
Listen, you get the bouquets come your way when things are flying high, and you get the slings and arrows when things aren't going well, and that's just the nature of the beast. There is no in between. It's just either one or the other, and I know I'd rather have the good stuff coming. So it's our job. You hear it loud and clear. We know it and we feel it. And it's our job to find a way to be flying high and make sure that the product out there is something that everybody's excited about. And so that's the challenge. And the challenge upon us is deal with the adversity and get through this sooner than later. But, it's easier said than done, though.
Short and long term, how do you view Hicks's role moving forward?
Well, right now, short and long term on Hicks. Short term, he's scuffled to the point where he's, I think he's lost his everyday at bats right now and reps, and he's fighting through it. I've checked his temperature from time to time since, and I know he's hungry to do what's necessary to get himself back online, and he's just like anybody else now in his position, waiting for an opportunity to reprove himself and re-earn, opportunities as we move forward. So he's not giving up, and that's important, clearly, when you're in that position, and so he's biding his time and hoping he can impact in a positive way this team. Again, this game is extremely difficult, as we all know, but it's a performance-based game. I know that too. So he's getting after doing what he has to do and check the box. And ultimately, the most important thing he'll need to do it over the course of time is produce. He was producing most of July. Obviously, he's really starting to come through. It gave us great optimism. All right, you know what? He'd been out of line for a while because of an injury. Knocking the rust out, it was difficult getting out of the gate, and then all of a sudden it found like he found his stride, and he was really helping us and for an extended period of time, and then it was just trailed off towards the end of July, and then August, then it went south, and while going south, obviously it makes it even more tougher on a mental side, and I think he's probably opened up with you guys on that too. It's frustrating. I don't know. If he's probably the most frustrated of all, and if he could snap his fingers and make everything perfect again, he would do it. But right now, he's in that category, he's fighting through it. So he's in a support role right now and waiting for an opportunity when it presents itself again. And when it does, whether it's a pinch hitting role, defensive side, or a start, he's hoping for better results than he's had in the last month. I believe in this group. I know Aaron Boone believes in this group. And I know our ownership believes in this group. It's a good crew that's dedicated, that's hungry, and that's really talented. and that's just happened to play poorly for a little longer than maybe we would have expected based on how we got out of the gates for the first 3 months. But just, I'm not going to forget that, but I'm going to use that, to fall back on, continue to push through and reinforce and support these guys, because ultimately, it leads you to remember how difficult times can be, and my experience in this situation has always taught me that you can go a couple different tracks on how you handle it, and one track is you use a heavy hand, which I'm not afraid to deal with when necessary, or you do that hand of support and realize that, hey, we are going to stay in this. We're going to reinforce what we got and double down on it. And I believe that that's the right track with these guys. They're hearing it. They're feeling it. They know it. They're not afraid of it. And if they could turn the narrative to the more positive, yesterday would have done it by now. But they're not afraid to keep pushing through it until we push through it and get back online. And I do believe we'll get back online. But I acknowledge it's frustrating while we're going through it.